Everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Silent Hill. In the last part, we reached the resort area and took care of some optional business around the buildings around here, seeing Kaufman a good bit in the process. And now it's time for us to actively head to the lake like we were originally coming here to do. Note, if you just want to go through the game as fast as you can completely ignore the stuff we did last part. You can just go straight this way, but I like getting the best endings on my LPs. So, let's head over there now. Just be careful of all the enemies in this area as well, because there's still a bunch of rompers, wormheads, and all that are just waiting for you to turn a corner, and then they'll just chase you down. I think the wormheads are a bit more persistent, too.
What's this? Oh. Oh.
Not again. No, this time it feels different. Rather than shifting from reality to a nightmare, this is more like reality becoming a nightmare. I don't like this feeling, like something bad will happen. No doubt, something terrible is going on. Welcome to what I like to call the Hell Run. We have to get from where we are down to that little loop split right beneath the word lakeside on the map there. And there's a shitload of enemies here, namely night flutterers and wormheads. And I feel these are the most persistent variants of them in the game, just because I think they have larger territories like to roam and thus will follow you for most of this run. Not helping, as you might have seen on the map there. Once you get down onto the lake, you're on very thin ground, so dodging enemies is surprisingly tough, even if there aren't too many of them. If you're like me and you like to play Silent Hill, at least Silent Hill 1, closer to Resident Evil, where you're not attacking many enemies and you're saving your ammo for boss fights where you might have them, this can be tough. If you're very aggressive and shooting everything in sight, you don't have much to worry about here at all. In fact, something I haven't really brought up, using all your ammo in this game is honestly a strategy, as they have a failsafe in the game, unlike, say, a Resident Evil, where if you reach a certain point in the game and you have no ammo, certain things will just die automatically. But we'll talk more about that in a couple parts when we actively reach that point. For now, let's heal up any damage we took and go into this houseboat that has another corpse in it. Pleasant.
Sybil,
Harry!
how did you get back here?
I followed the sewer. Were you the one who cut the fence?
Yeah. I'm glad you made it. I was worried about you.
You were worried? Where did you disappear to? Never mind. I want to know what's going on here. What is with this town?
This may sound really off the wall, but listen to me. You've got to believe me. I haven't gone crazy and I'm not fooling around. At first, I thought I was losing my mind. But now I know I'm not. It's not me. This whole town. It's being invaded by the other world. By a world of someone's nightmarish delusions come to life. Little by little, the invasion is spreading, trying to swallow up everything in darkness. I think I'm finally beginning to understand what that lady was talking about.
Harry, hold on a minute. I don't get it.
Look, I don't understand it all myself. I guess I can't explain it.
Well, what's making this happen?
I don't know that either. But I do know Cheryl is there.
There?
Under whoever created this darkness. Cheryl is somewhere and she needs my help.
Harry, this whole thing's been a major blow to you. You need to rest.
Sybil,
The demon is awakening, spreading those wings.
Dahlia Gillespie.
Was it not as I said? I see it all now. Yes, everything. Hungry for sacrifice, the demon will swallow up the land. I knew this day would come. And what's more, the task is almost finished. There's only 2 left. To seal this town to the abyss, the mark of Samael. When it is completed, all is lost. Even in daytime, darkness will cover the sun. The dead will walk, and martyrs will burn in the fires of hell. Everyone will die.
So what am I supposed to do? I've got to save Cheryl.
It is simple. Stop the demon. The demon taking that child's form. Stop it before your daughter becomes a sacrifice. Before it is too late. Stop it! Stop it!
What do I do?
Go to the lighthouse on the lake. And to the center of the amusement park. Make haste. You are the only hope.
Look, Harry. I really don't get what's going on. But if there's a chance we can save your daughter, I'm in. I'll check out the amusement park. You go to the lighthouse.
Sybil, thanks.
You will need to use it.
Use what?
The Flauros. Only with that can you stop it.
What about Sybil?
It's kind of a rude way to leave us hanging, but oh well. Also, why would you use Flauros? It's not even that very good of a persona. I mean, come on. Alright, though. There is evidence in this particular room that you may have been able to eventually steer this boat, by the way, as some sort of vehicle, even if it was just as like a makeshift elevator of sorts. Because even though you can't interact with it, Harry actively looks at the steering wheel for it, which implies it was interactable at some point. Alright, welcome to Hell Run Part 2, where there's more Night Flutterers and even some Rompers. It's hell to run away here with how thin the stuff is, so you might just want to go all out aggressive. Now, there's something that's a bit weird about Silent Hill to me, in that graphically, it's one of the most impressive games in the PlayStation, character models and environments combined, which is partially why the game doesn't exactly run that smooth. It's only like, I think at best, like 15 frames a second sometimes, I feel. Worse than Ocarina of Time, that's for certain. But it's animated worse than most other survival horror games in the system. I'm especially looking at Resident Evil 1 through 3, because in a lot of the cutscenes here in Silent Hill, the characters are just standing there, not really even emoting. You'll get maybe a movement or two per character, like walking or pointing to something. But compare that to, say, a Resident Evil 1 cutscene even, where they're constantly using body language. It feels kind of weird, but it does kind of contribute in its own way to the atmosphere in the game, where things just feel very off. Which, it could be intentional, but at the same time, from what I know about the development of Silent Hill 1, the team and the studio wanted to make 2 very different games. Apparently Konami wanted more of a straightforward horror game, whereas Team Silent wanted to make something a bit more unique and different, which is why it feels like there's 2 different games in here at times. Team Silent, I believe, got more control starting from Silent Hill 2 on, which is why those games just become slowly and slowly more out there in terms of what they're showing you. By the way, once you reach the lighthouse, you're safe, so let's head upstairs to see if we can stop that mark from happening.
Wait! was too late.
Well, that sucks. I guess we just gotta leave. And you do actually need to leave. We need to get back to the houseboat we were just at. Thankfully, the game takes some mercy on you, in that after you leave the lighthouse itself and go a little bit down the pathway, you just get jump cut immediately back to the houseboat. They don't make you walk all the way back. So if you didn't take care of the enemies, don't worry, you won't need to, because you're just gonna skip right past them anyway. I appreciate when a game cuts out a backtrack for you like this, sometimes, honestly. In a game like Metroid, it's a little bit weird to do it, but in a game like this, I appreciate it where you can. This is the second time the game's even done that, so hey, kudos to you, game.
Sybil hasn't come back. That creep's sure to show up at the amusement park pretty soon. Let me be on time.
However, while they may have cut the trek back to Houseboat out, they don't cut you over to where we need to go next. We need to walk back through the pier to get to... They say the amusement park, and that is our end goal, but we actually need to get back to the sewers. A different part of the sewers, just due northwest of us, not all the way back to the northeast, thankfully. In particular, that little arrow right there on the map towards our northwest. I believe that only gets marked at this point, though. If you try to go there early, I think there's too strong of a lock for you to break, unlike the one back at the waterworks, if memory serves. Mind you, I'm not even sure if at this point if you can head all the way back to the initial waterworks area. I think the shift to the other world this time around completely cut off the pathway. But we're taking the same path Sybil used to get to the amusement park, so let's head on down into the sewers once again. That's all there is to that cutscene. I remember when I first saw that, I laughed because it started so suddenly and then ended so suddenly. And there's another Marcus Ami on the ground. And now we have another sewer map. However, this part of the sewers is as directly just a run through enemies as the run through the pier. We got a lot of hanging scratchers. I think we even have some mumblers down here. It's kind of intense, but you don't have to worry about much because you can just run past everything. They won't really catch up to you too easily. The biggest biggest distraction you can do down here, I believe there's some dead ends like this that you can find some items at. But if you've gotten this far and you haven't been fighting too many enemies, you have, I believe, even more than enough ammo just to go through the rest of the game and not worry about real resources, especially handgun ammo. Shotgun ammo, you can probably use a little liberally. Just make sure you save your rifle ammo for the final boss at this point, because that's going to be the biggest use of it. And that's a mumbler. Again, if you're playing the PAL version, that's what you would have seen throughout the entirety of the Midwich Elementary, because they replaced the Grey Children with that. I'm not sure if that sound there was an enemy breaking through something, or if that was just part of the music, because the music definitely gets more intense right here. I don't know. Either way, once we climb this ladder, we are very suddenly in the amusement park. I guess this is just a part of the sewer that coincidentally connects to it anyway. The somewhat unfortunate thing, we don't really get to see the amusement park much here in Silent Hill 1. I'm forgetting if the one in Silent Hill 3 is even the same one. I feel amusement parks can be a really creepy place to explore, but we don't really get to see anything of it here. And there's more larval stalkers. The main enemy you're going to be dealing with here is, of all things, again, Grey Children, which I guess makes sense to be here because of what the Grey Children are supposed to represent, but we'll talk more about that later. There is a save point for you to use in here, and this is actually where I do one of my few active jump cuts in the LP, because once I reach this next save point, I take a few minutes to find the actual destination, so I just backtrack to the save point and then go to it directly from there. Because, for some reason, I find this place to be one of the most confusing to navigate in the game, just because there's no real items or anything to grab outside of your active destination. And it takes me a minute to find it anytime I play the game, just because the only landmarks you have are, alright, here's this break in the fence ground. Where's the break I need to find where I need to go? It's weird. I don't like this, but we found it, so now we can enter the carousel. So let's head on in. Alright, the next boss fight's against Sybil herself, but if you're going for the best ending, don't kill her because she actually does die. Instead, you remember that red liquid we got all the way back in the hospital? It's time to finally use that. The boss fight herself will shoot her gun at you until she eventually runs out of ammo, in which case she'll just rely on slapping you and trying to grab you and chokehold you. And we will show it off slightly later on, but not very much, because the fight itself isn't much to write home about. You'll have more than enough ammo already at this point. Let's just use this. And if you notably use this on the larval stalkers in the amusement park, some weird glitches can happen that skip you right to this next cutscene. Which is funny as all hell to see, and it is a speedrun tactic.
Sybil! Wake up! Snap out of it! Sybil!
Harry, what happened?
Shh, don't talk. I'll take care of you.
Harry, why did they take your daughter? Why her?
I'm not sure myself. But, you know, Cheryl isn't my biological daughter. I actually haven't told her yet. She probably already knows anyway, though. We found her abandoned on the side of the highway. Nobody knew where she came from. We didn't have any kids of our own. My wife was sick, and it didn't look like she was getting any better. So we took Cheryl in.
So in that case...
there might be some connection between Cheryl and this town.
So what do you do now?
Cheryl is my daughter. I will save her no matter what. I figured you'd show. Hold it right there. I don't know who you are or what you're trying to do, and I don't care. Just one thing. Let Cheryl go. That's all I ask. What? Damn! Huh? What is this? Where's Cheryl? give me back my daughter.
We meet at last, Alessa.
Dahlia Gillespie? Where's Cheryl? Where is she?
Alessa. This is the end of your little game.
Mama?
Could she be...
You've been a ghastly little pest, haven't you, Alessa? I was careless, thinking you couldn't escape from our spell. But Mommy didn't know how much you'd grown. That's why I couldn't catch you all by myself. But what a pity, yes? Now you're half indebted to this man for his help.
Hey, what are you talking about?
Alessa, my dear little girl, there is one thing left I need you to do for me.
No! Get away from me!
Bad girl. Everything is ready. Let's go home.
What's going on here?
Cutscene Central, and what a twist! But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 10, we start off the final area. See you guys then.